Hi, Professor Stevens. My name is Natalie Reymundo, and this is my submission for the oral presentation. Why are we worrying about women's work? So this is a New York Times article by Elizabeth Brunig from March 19th, 2021. And in essence, this article examines the worrying on both sides, on the left as well as the right, about the American Rescue Plan Act that's being enacted by Biden that is supposed to aid women with children like during the pandemic. And in essence, like it grants aid of free $3,600 for children 5 and under, and for $3,000 for children of 6 to 17. However, the author Elizabeth Brunig posits that these people are worrying, in essence, for no reason, because research has proven that child benefit programs actually reduce child poverty and have little to no effect on women's labor force participation. And the relevant course concepts that are being covered in this article are from Chapter 9 and Chapter 10. And the concepts from Chapter 9 are increased gender inequality and to work or not to work. The ones for Chapter 10 are the motherhood wage penalty and a question of choice. So first we're going to be examining Chapter 9. As you can see here, the textbook evidence surrounding increased gender equality shows that straight couples hold more traditional beliefs about women being, should say women there, that they start holding more traditional beliefs about women being better suited to care for children, and that they might have more equal views beforehand, but after having children, couples generally tend to think that women are better at just taking care of children, and thus more women tend to stay home to take care of children as opposed to men. Oops, sorry. And of course, there's textbooks research demonstrating that the unequal division of labor usually contributes to a general sense of like unfairness and decreased marital satisfaction in women. However, textbook evidence like also shows that while these women are feeling less satisfied, men actually experience increased satisfaction in these relationships. And we can see here that it relates to the article because the author here acknowledges that social engineering is likely to change America's child poverty rate, and that many more children tend to live with their mothers than only their fathers, as evidenced as well by the textbook research. And then we come to our next concept, which is to work or not to work. And in the article, the author does mention welfare queens who are described as Black women who benefit from welfare and are stereotyped as being less inclined to work and less encouraged to work, basically implying that Black women are lazy and taking advantage of welfare, meaning, while white stay-at-home mothers are more likely to be praised for staying home. However, this is somewhat destructive because this disproportionately affects Black mothers, considering they have the same, if not more, need than white stay-at-home mothers. Um, and so this stereotype is um, influencing policy, um, causing them to receive less aid when in fact they oftentimes like need it more than more like well-to-do women. Now here we have from chapter 10, the motherhood wage penalty. So see here the author acknowledges the astronomical costs of welfare. I mean, sorry, welfare childcare. And according to the textbook, um, mother's hourly wages go down by 7.8% for every child that she has. And when including education, it goes down by 5%. Um, this means that mothers tend to make less than non-mothers as a result. I mean, usually due to different reasons, such as having to keep up with childcare and housework at the same time as, um, as well as workplace discrimination. This is especially difficult for women to consider um, because um, while they have more children, they are making less. However, they oftentimes, well, not oftentimes, however, they need more financial assistance, if anything, because they do have to support and take care of uh, their children. So now here from chapter 10, we have a question of choice. Um, and here the author talks about choice and worth, talking about how staying home with your kids is okay if you can afford it, you know, in the eyes of the public and society. However, it's not valuable enough to warrant societal support, meaning that oftentimes women's choices surrounding work and family balance like are seen as choices and not so much as impositions. And considering that they're seen more as choices, society feels that there is not much need to offer that support considering that they made this choice. However, given that it's more like a societal pressure and an imposition, since there is um, evidence that women are pressured to have children, um, sorry, even though they are pressured to have children, they're still not receiving the support under the guise that they're making a choice, but not that they're being pressured. That being said, textbook evidence shows that um, work-family balance is often limited by discrimination and inflexible work environments, as well as low pay that may not cover the cost of childcare. And these constraints make work and family balance very difficult, especially in the United States. Um, and yes, basically, it makes it especially difficult in the United States, and it's also difficult because textbook evidence also shows that um, the the average work schedule was not developed with um, having children in mind. And it was not originally developed and established in society with the notion that employees would be having children, since most employees were men initially when they first invented the normal work schedule. However, once women were put into the equation and women were began to work, um, there weren't as many accommodations to um, consider for the employers because women had fought their way to, I guess, have a seat at the table. Um, and so employers do not feel inclined to make accommodations. And that is it. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Okay. And that was my presentation. Thank you so much.